Okay, we're live. What's going on, self helpers? And welcome to Self Help Yourself, the number one self help channel dedicated to becoming the best version of yourself. And this channel is dedicated to making your life positive, happy, and stress free. So, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so that you never miss another video to becoming the best version of yourself. Alright, guys, so today we are discussing a very important topic. Important topic, and this is quite relevant to most people who have been to the gym or have some kind of exercise pattern in their lives and really find it hard to see these results. Make sure that the effort that they're putting in is you know going somewhere. So this is really important, and I'm sure that everyone who's watching this will gain some benefit out of this video. And make sure that you leave your questions on the live chat so that I can answer them. And one of the important things about this topic is that I would consider myself one of the better authorities to talk about this topic, because I've seen and actually done all these things, and I've given myself all the possible excuses that one could possibly run through. And it's very clear to me that we can really start making a difference by just relaying some of these things, going through them once again, understanding the psychology behind why do we choose to eat a certain way, why do we choose to exercise a certain way, why are we not able to sustain it, why are we not able to make changes very easily. So that's the whole concept behind today's topic, and that is having a very bad diet, having a bad diet habit. So this is basically where you have a bad diet well set in place, and you have difficulty you know making your way out of this. So make sure that you are telling me exactly what you have been through. So tell me what you want to know, specific to you on the live chat. What are the struggles that you have gone through? All of these things are very crucial to making me understand what your experience of the problem is, so that I'll be better able to help you out. So make sure you leave your questions on the live chat, or message me, or whatever works for you. So right now I wanted to cover a certain bunch of things that I have personally been through, and I am very confident that you may have gone through as well. And these bad diet habits are more than just mere habits. They have a very pervasive role in our lives today, and it's very important to understand that we need to change them. And if we don't change them, it could lead to various health consequences, bad lifestyle choices, um, bad social interactions. Our own psychology might get affected sometimes. In fact, your self-esteem, your image of yourself, all of these things are very closely connected with how you eat and what kind of habits you have with regard to your lifestyle, how you exercise, how you actually bring these things together. So very important role in our lives. So make sure that you pay attention, ask me your questions. Very important topic, again, very close to my heart. And if there is anyone who has gone through struggles with regard to their weight, they are obese right now, they're skinny, yeah, this video is also going to help the skinny people. So if there is anyone that who has been running through all of these difficulties, then make sure that they receive the link to this video, and they may be benefited from the content that I'm about to share as well. So the very first point when it comes to having a bad diet habit, or having a bad habit when it comes to your diet, is the word diet itself. Surprise, surprise. So the thing is, we are always conscious about how we eat. but we aren't conscious about how long we choose to eat that way. So these patterns when it comes to you eating might vary from time to time, and you might be experiencing this issue with consistency. So let's say that you're all motivated, it's the new year, you want to make a change, you want to hit the gym, you want to start eating healthy, you want to start eating right. All of these things are running through your head, and this is where your choices become really important. So let's say that you have your diet in place. You want to start making a change. And then you write down this diet. You start running through the diet. It works well for 1 day, works well for 2 days, works well for 3 days, works well for the fourth day. And then you think to yourself, man, this is really hard. This is not working out for me. Why is this plan that I am trying to go with so hard to stick with? The reality is that you are trying to create a change, and that is what creating a new habit is all about. First of all, when you have a bad habit in place, you tend to stick with it because it's easier. We are not exactly people who are motivated to change. Human beings are indifferent to change. We don't like change. And this is the reason why we tend to stay in the place of comfort that we are in. And it's important to acknowledge this. If you can acknowledge this fact that you find it hard to change and that it is important for you to create a change right now, that is the first step that you need to make in your mind, and that makes it easier for you to start going forward with the actual changes that you have planned for yourself. So start acknowledging the fact that yes, you need to make a change, right? So with regard to your diet, the thing with a diet is, according to Wikipedia, it's just a set of meals or a set of nutritious items, the sum of food consumed by a person or another organism, and it's actually a concept that lies within the concept of nutrition. So the word diet often implies the use of specific intake of nutrition for health or weight management reasons. So the thing that I don't like about this concept of diet is that it is always indicative of something that is short term. Now, every time I hear someone that they're on a diet, this is typically what drives me insane. The fact that we cannot stick to something that we create for ourselves. We run through these choices that we decide to make, and yet we do not find a way to move forward with it. This is the reason why. It's that the things you say matter. What you think about a certain word matters. So the whole concept lies behind changing the word diet. So this is what my first step is: change your mindset with regard to diet into nutrition. You need to start looking at the bigger picture, start looking at the long term uh, solution or the long term perspective when it comes to your health, with regard to your weight, with regard to fat loss in general, or just maintaining something that you've actually started to go on with right from the get go. So when you're trying to create a change, start making sure that you do not make the mistake of assuming that a diet is something that is short term and that it has to be long term always. So guys, start thinking about nutrition in the long term and start using the word nutrition more often. Start thinking of food as fuel to fuel this engine that is going to keep you going for the entire day. So all of these things with regard to your carbs, your proteins, your fats, all of these things are very critical, and start looking for natural sources that can be incorporated into your nutrition plan that are going to help fuel your body to start carrying out different activities in your day. This will improve your performance in your exercise routine so much more, and it'll actually leave you feeling energetic, and not you consume a lot of it and then you feel deprived of energy. This is really important. So make sure that how you think about diet and nutrition changes, and start thinking about nutrition, start thinking about a long term plan. So, this was my first bad habit with regard to one's fitness lifestyle. So, this is where psychology comes in, and it's very important for you to understand that it all comes down to psychology at the end of the day. And the more you are focused towards a long term plan, that's when you start to see the changes that tend to sustain themselves, right? So, creating sustainable change is what you should be aiming to do, right? So, it's not something that you decide to go through once or twice or even for a few months. It's something that you want to incorporate so that you can start applying throughout your life, and that can be sustained, right? So, the second tip that I want to talk about is complexity. So, when it comes to any kind of nutrition plan, people always tend to complicate things. Uh, they believe that, I am, you know walking on pins and needles. I am, embarking on a completely new journey. I am walking on, treading on new grounds that I've never been on before, and this is really confusing for me. So, this mindset, when you're confused and you don't know what you're doing, this is one aspect of it. And the second aspect is, once you start creating the change, you tend to make it too complex for yourself. So, let's say that I was someone who enjoys eating a lot of ice cream, or enjoys eating a lot of chocolate, and one fine day, it's, December 31st, and I tell myself that the next day that I'm going to go out, join the gym, and, make all these changes with regard to my nutrition plan, and then start, benefiting from these changes. And then when it comes to my food, what do? I make a plan that is beyond my implementation, beyond my capacity to implement, beyond what I can actually apply in the real world. So, I start, eating, my green leafy vegetables. I start eating my chicken breast or my dal or my lentils or whatever it is. The point is, when you start making it too complex, you do not, find it coming together, and it is not practical. So, this is the second solution to the complexity tip, and that is, you need to start making it more simplistic. Guys, diet and nutrition does not have to be a very complex procedure, does not have to be a very complicated phenomena that you need to start implementing. Keep it simple. Start eating what you know you should be eating. Avoid the processed things, or make sure that the processed things are kept to a minimum. Start eating, more naturally produced things like, you know, rice, uh, your proteins, anything that has not been factory made, basically. So, it makes it much easier to, talk about things that are not typically advertised on TV, like your um, your biscuits, your chocolates, your ice creams, your anything that is processed. To be very frank, make sure that you go natural with it, and that will make it much easier. So, there's a reason why these things are not told to you on TV, or why fruits, vegetables, rice items, your chapatis, all of these are not really advertised as much on TV. It's because people already know that these are healthy, right? So, when people already know that these are healthy, people need to get distracted away from those foods that they typically, you know might not choose, but are going to be more enticing for you. So, that's very important. So, understand that if you try and complicate things, if you try and make things, beyond your ability to implement realistically, and see good results over a long period of time and sustain those results, it's not going to be very easy. So, keep your diet plan simple. Make sure that it is straightforward to follow, and if there is someone that really um, can guide you with regard to this, like your fitness trainer or your friend who has all a fitness lifestyle in place, they can really simplify things for you. So if you have any questions, make sure you leave them on the live chat or leave them in the comments and tell me some of the things that your friends have told you with regard to weight loss and diet plans, so that you may help other people who are watching this video. In fact, I have already made a video, one of my very first videos, on how to start eating healthy, and just 10 simple tips that I followed and I continue to follow even today, just with regard to using simple psychology to change my mindset with regard to how I think about food. So I'll link that up in the description box below, and if you're watching this in the replay, it should be coming up right here. So that was the second tip. So keep it simple. Make sure that your uh, the information that you're putting out is straightforward, and make sure that how you view your food habits is a very simple process. Don't make it complicated. So these were the 2 points. So if you're just joining us, I've been talking all this time about bad diet habits that are keeping us fat or keeping us skinny and preventing us from seeing significant change in our lives. Hi Infinity A1, if you have any questions for me, you can just drop it down on the live chat. All right. So now we've run through 2 points. That is, one was about the concept of a diet and turning that into nutrition, and secondly, we spoke about the complexity of diets and nutrition plans and keeping it simple, eating what you know you should be eating, and making the whole process of staying sustained, sustaining the change of a strong fitness lifestyle more possible. And which actually the second point connects with the third point. Whenever we think of a diet, we often run through it for a few days and then we realize something. I don't like this. So again, how can something be sustainable if you do not enjoy it? If you do not incorporate the things that you know you like but should be kept in a minimum? Very important to acknowledge this as well. The fact that if it is not viable for the long term, it is not going to be useful for you. So make sure that when you decide to make a diet plan or a nutrition plan for yourself, make sure it has things that you like within it. And it does not always have to be an unhealthy choice of food. There are plenty of amazing healthy food options available. If you want to talk about snacks, you have your protein bars, you have tuna, you have nuts, healthy fats. Very important to incorporate these healthy fats into your diet. People tend to forego the fats. I'll be talking about this. So incorporate things that you like within your diets and keep them to a minimum. And another important thing that I'd like to talk about at this point is the fact that people don't tend to like healthy foods. It comes from a very uh, immature place, if I can say that. Uh, it's fine to have these junk food items or things that are bad for you in the short term. I mean, it's okay to consume them for some time, maybe when you're a kid. But growing up, you really want to start thinking about what you're putting into your mouth, because you need to start being more responsible with regard to what you eat. And what you decide to put in your mouth makes all the difference. This is where creating those choices that are going to set you apart from everyone, being that person who is in control of his situation, not always making unhealthy choices that are going to be damaging to your health. This is where it comes into play. So if you're someone who typically does not eat healthy, start enjoying it, and you'll actually start to see the difference with your training with regard to your daily performance. You'll be more energetic, you'll even earn more money. Quite a good incentive, right? Yeah. So a lot of studies indicate that there is about a 14 to 16% increase in the amount of money someone earns, provided they're leading a healthy lifestyle. So start enjoying the healthy things, and you just need to stick with it for about 2 weeks. a very, very simple thing. Avoid eating your unhealthy foods for just 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. And then your body will automatically start to reject the unhealthy things that it doesn't enjoy, because you're being fueled by things that the body actually thrives upon, that the body desires more of. And that's where, after you incorporate these healthy foods and you start putting in little bits of the unhealthy things, the things that you usually enjoy, your cheat meals, that's when not only you enjoy of eating your unhealthy stuff more, it's also creating a more sustainable habit at the same time. So you start enjoying staying healthy. So this is where it all comes together. So guys, start thinking about how you can create a diet plan, create a nutrition plan that you can enjoy, and that will make the whole process of getting healthy much easier. And not only getting healthy, but so we've run through 3 tips, and if all how they view and help take questions. If you've been struggling with weight loss, or if there are any other health tips that you would like, make sure you leave them in the comments. I will answer them for you. And additionally, guys, very important, uh, the thing is, we all run through these things, and it's a question of a phase. Um, what are you doing in your moment of weakness? Are you finding it hard to adapt to this new choice that you are trying to create a new change in your life that is going to that you're going to be thankful for? These are things that you need to start questioning, right? So like I said, it comes from a state of maturity. You want to be more responsible for what you do, more responsible for what you all of these things need to be in your life. This is what you need to start doing. All right, so we've run through tips, the complexity of a diet, the diet in itself, and how you can change your mindset with regard to that, and how to stop avoiding, you know, not liking a certain diet plan anymore, which runs to topic number 4, which is as very closely connected with I already mentioned, eating to feel happy. So we've all run through this process where we find it hard to stick with something, and in our moment of weakness we make bad choices, right? So this is something that even I have personally gone through, and I have to say that we can avoid the situation, but we choose not to, and we choose to give in to our own weaknesses. And you end up saying yes to your body, but you say no to your mind. And this is where the whole concept of being weak-minded comes into play. This is why charting or having goals is very important. Writing down your fitness goals and having a certain plan in mind really, really benefits. When you have a goal in mind and you write it down, you become more likely to actually. So write down your. There are going to be actually a variety of situations. There are going to be very obvious choices where you could. There's a 50-50 choice where you have to eat what is put in front of you, or you have a choice where you can eat something more healthy. Typically, you want to choose the thing that is more healthy for you, and that makes it more easy, right? So just eat healthy. But there are also going to be times when you aren't going to have access to your healthy food options. You're completely deprived of all your healthy eating options. This is where you really need to think ahead. So have a meal on you. Try and find the healthiest possible thing on the menu where you're at. If someone can prepare something healthy for you that is not available to others, that would be really beneficial as well. Uh, just basically thinking ahead. This is really critical. So, coming back to the point of eating to feel happy, uh, there is we live in a world today where food is in surplus. A lot of unhealthy options that appeal more to us, or that are put in once they're put in front of us, we tend to choose those over the things that we should be eating but we don't typically like to eat. So this is where eating to feel happy comes into play. So if you are someone who does not enjoy eating to stay fit, and instead likes to eat unhealthy things because they make you feel happy, then you need to start questioning yourself with regard to this. How are you benefiting from this? Are you looking at a short term gain of the dopamine rush from you eating is not going to benefit your body, versus something that is actually going to benefit you, start giving you energy and start fueling your body, generating muscle growth after you worked out in the gym, or done your exercise routine. So guys, avoid this as much as possible. If you are prone to eating food to stay happy, stop doing it. There's no shortcut to this. You just need to stop doing it, because it's a very unhealthy habit that you formed for yourself, and it's going to create all sorts of problems, not just on on the level of your body, but it's also going to affect your social situations and what you actually go behind and be happy. So avoid using as a start even those gains from time. So whole process and then you make how to incorporate those into your life. So this is another, and how to guys, when you are consuming healthy fats, very important role to our overall health and well-being. So if you are avoiding certain healthy foods and avoiding a certain quantity of it while losing weight, this is not going to work out. You are, right, I can't stress upon this enough, you are fueling your body. So when you deprive yourself and you're on this road to weight loss, it's actually going to be counterintuitive. So you are not going to be benefiting yourself in any way. So make sure that you eat adequately when you are trying to lose weight, eat adequately when you are trying to gain weight, and make sure that you are eating enough of the healthy and eating enough of the right things. All right. So make sure that things are coming together. Make sure that what you have in mind for yourself, all of this has to be incorporated within your nutrition plan, right? So start saying this word a lot more often. Start using the words that are going to be synonymous with the change that you are trying to create. Start thinking about how you're going to start. I'm becoming healthy using positive affirmations. I am creating a sustainable change. I am going to drop the weight. I'm going to gain more healthy, lean muscle. I'm going to sustain the change that I have started to create in my life. All of these things start making a very big difference in your life. All right. So I have tons of videos on all of these different topics with regard to creating an ideal mindset, how to stop thinking negatively, how to stop eating unhealthy, how to stop feeling guilty. All of these videos are all out on my channel, so if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and check out all of these videos. Very, very beneficial content that you'll start seeing immediate results with in your life. So I want to end this video with a little bit of personal experience with regard to eating healthy. I actually did a collaboration video with one of India's biggest fitness YouTubers, Beer Biceps, recently, and he mentioned something about discipline. And the thing is, with regard to that, this we always look to be disciplined with regard to our lifestyle and how we decide to make changes within our lives. But what we fail to realize sometimes is it's the process in itself that makes us more disciplined, and we need to enjoy the process. So it's not always about getting from point A to point B. People always tend to set these goals for themselves, and they believe that reaching the goal is all that matters. It's not that. The problems that you run into, the challenges that you go through, the change that you see within yourself as you finally get to your goal, this is the most critical thing that you will see coming out of this entire process of change. So it's always going to be an ongoing structure that you're always building up, building upon, right? It's going to be creating a strong foundation with the change that you decide to create with regard to leading a healthy lifestyle, and then slowly building up from there. So it doesn't matter where you're starting from. I have been back and forth with regard to my weight loss, and I know what it takes to create this change. But always avoid eluding yourself about what is going to help you sustain that. And that's the whole point of with regard to creating this video for you, creating a change that you can sustain all the time, right? So sustain for the rest of your life. That's the motto of this video, right? So make sure that all of these tips that I spoke about today, avoid these bad diet habits that are going to be derogatory with regard to your overall health, your social performance, your own energy levels, and your own lifestyle in general. Guys, lead a healthy lifestyle. It's not that hard. People make it complicated, or maybe people make it sound complicated. I don't really know. All I know is that it can add a lot of value to your life, and if you start with these changes and you stick with them, you'll start to help others in realizing that it's not that hard. And that's where I come into play. It's my goal that I start to stick with these changes, and so that I am in a position to better equip you with the ability to keep making these changes in your life. All right, guys. So that's more or less what I had to share in this video. We spoke about all the bad diet habits, how to create more sustainable, healthy eating habits that are going to work out for us in the long term. I spoke about how to make a diet more sustainable, and change the mindset behind the concept of a diet to a nutrition plan that is going to be applicable for a long time, for a lifetime rather. Secondly, I also spoke about, you know, how people, you know, tend to avoid, make it complex. People make it very complex with regard to their eating plans. Keep it simple. Talk to people who, have already run through these problems with regard to, losing weight and have become fit. They will be the best people to give you an answer with regard to, how to make it simple, how to follow simple eating habits, or implement certain eating habits that can be sustained. All right. So the third point that I spoke about was, not enjoying the fitness lifestyle, not enjoying the fact that you're eating healthy things. Guys, start enjoying it. It's not very difficult, and it's just a matter of time. Like I said, it takes 2 weeks. If you can last the 2 weeks, you'll start to see, your body change automatically. You'll start rejecting the unhealthy foods. At that point, you want to start incorporating, after you've reached a place within your mind that yes, I will not go back to my old ways, then you can start incorporating the unhealthy things slowly back into your diet, and that will make it much easier to, sustain that change. The fourth point that I spoke about was eating to feel happy. Avoid eating to feel happy, because it is going to have consequences later on. It's very similar to having a need for instant gratification. If you're someone who's into alcohol, smoking, or any other drugs or any unhealthy habits, this is very synonymous with that. So if you have a very similar mentality as those people who choose to use these drugs, you're basically using food as a drug. So if you are someone who uses food to feel happy, needs to consume food to get that quick fix, avoid it and start looking for alternative ways to feel happy. Again, I have some videos on that. I'll link it up later. And the last point that I mentioned was eating too little, or eating too little of the right things to, make a change with regard to weight gain or weight loss. So guys, make sure that you are eating more of the healthy things. There are plenty of healthy eating options, again in another video that I've already mentioned. So plenty of healthy eating options. Eat more of those. Eat sufficiently. Eat something that is synonymous with your body mass index. Make sure you're eating adequately, that is fueling your body to make sure that you are performing both inside the gym, outside the gym, at work, at home, in all various aspects of your lives. You do not want to deprive your body of any energy that it may be lacking due to you not consuming enough of the healthy foods, right? So on that note, I'd like to stop talking, and I'd like you to subscribe if this is your first time here, and turn on bell notifications, because my channel is dedicated to making you, happy, positive and stress free in any aspect of your life, and make you the best version of yourself, right? So I put out these videos every week to make sure that you are seeing change in your life, and you are becoming, that person whom you wanted to be, right? So start avoiding these problems.